Maven interviews are all about capturing people's diverse passions and special skill sets. Bob Garlick and Andrew McGivern chat with local and international specialists to find out what they do and why they do it.
Hey everybody, it's Bob again, and this is another amazing Maven interview. I've got my crazy co-host, Andrew, soon to be a multiple child dad. And we've got Kemp here on the line. And Kemp, you've got a young one as well. So you're hanging out in the backyard, being very Vancouver with us this summer day.
You got it.
Andrew, can you give us a little bit of background on Kemp, or should we make Kemp do that?
I think we should make Kemp do that. But I'll just warm it up a little bit. He's former president of the Vancouver Social Media Club. He's an educator, strategist, speaker, great MC at events. He did one that we were at just a little while ago, and he's a sales engineer at Hootsuite, one of the best social media platforms for managing multiple social profiles.
Cool. Now, what did we miss?
I'm a husband, devoted father. I love Vancouver. Wouldn't want to be anywhere else. And my mecca is
except
South by Southwest.
Except for Texas, you'd like to be there.
I do love Texas. I wouldn't like to live there necessarily, but I love the cities of Texas, and I love Austin. So, yeah. And
you rock a beard.
I'm rocking the beard right now. We'll see how long I can hold out against my family who wants me to get rid of the beard.
It's in the summer, that's pretty brave. I can see that in the winter, it keeps your face warm, but in the summer, man, wow. Is it to keep mosquitoes away?
I don't really know why I grew the beard at this time, but
midlife crisis.
It continues to grow. I don't know if beards are so exemplary of midlife crises, but it might be time to shave it. I might be ready to go spring. I might do that tonight, actually.
Wow, well, record it, put it on YouTube. It could go viral.
The shaving of my beard, you know what I was thinking is just like doing some cool designs while I shave it. That could be interesting.
Yeah, I've done that before.
Once I did it and I just shaved half the face.
That's good.
So
Two-faced now?
Really, really bizarre.
I like
or if
that.
you keep the mustache on one side and then the.
If you haven't seen Bob, he doesn't really have a lot of hair, so it's not very. It's kind of funny to think of him with half a face and no hair.
Yeah, you got to shave the eyebrow to really get a good effect.
That's the one.
All right, for all our poll listeners, like, geez, it's like a man's grooming show. Let's talk tech. Social proof. That's we talked about that off mic just before the show. Kemp, let's talk a little bit about what is social proof and why do you think it's important?
Oh man, social proof is really exciting. Kind of something that one of my coworkers who manages our Facebook advertising, a rather sizable budget, was kind of introducing me to, and it's the idea that your ad, particularly on Facebook, would have like likes and shares and comments. Like you put a sponsored post out, and then and that's social proof. And then I got to see this post that says Bob and Andrew like this, and I'm like, oh, this must be something of value. It's endorsed by Bob and Andrew, and I think that's why we're seeing Facebook's ad revenue and share price go through the roof. But the other thing about social proof is it's everywhere. An Instagram picture where someone says they love your juice or your iced tea canister, like sharing that out on your social channels is like showing other people that, hey, people just like you love this. And so I think there's a big thing around social and the internet where there's so many opportunities for social proof, and I think they're really powerful. So I think social proof is going to be a big thing for the next couple of years.
Well, you think like social proof is more like a modern version of word of mouth?
I think it's an evolution. It's always been around, right? Social proof is the same. It's kind of like, word of mouth is, hey, we talk about this thing, and then social proof is someone being like truly endorsing it. The way I might endorse a lovely Tilt charger block I got that charges my iPhone 3 times. There's a plug for Tilt.
Social proof would be somebody that's got a lot of respect or a large following endorsing you, or
no, it could be your mom. It could be somebody with no following that's important to you. Right? You're right. There'd probably be a little bit more social proof. I don't know if that's social proof when someone's popular. I think it's more like your personal connection to those people. That's why I used you guys as my social proof. And Facebook in particular, where it's not so much about numbers, but relationship and how close you are to that person.
It's not so much like the credibility of the person that is promoting you or endorsing you. It's more just to the relationship that you have with them.
Partly, and the fact there is actually credibility for sure. To me, somebody who's credible is somebody with nothing to gain by posting an Instagram picture that says they like XYZ, or nothing to gain by sharing a Facebook post that they think is valuable to their audience, right? So to me, it's not like yeah, of course, there might be. I don't believe in celebrity culture, so let's just put that into the context here. So when you talk about someone with hundreds of thousands of followers, I'm like, that's not a social proof. That's an endorsement or an advertisement, right? Yeah. When it becomes a channel that's so big, and I'm kind of talking about the micro social proof, or the smaller things that people can show.
Well, they tend to be way more authentic, anyways. What about what about social defenders? And I was getting. So Todd Maffin, a hard time today. There was a picture of him work. He was doing it. Here's me working with my co-writer, and he had a Coke there with a straw. I said, "Man, you guys are kicking it, using drinking red wine with a straw." And this woman pops up like minutes later saying, "Oh no, that's probably Coca-Cola." I said, "No, it's that's it. It's Coke and red wine. I wouldn't give up." And she kept on defending him. So it was like, "Hey, this is Bob. You don't know me. I'm just giving the guy a hard time." But because he was so busy writing, Todd hadn't had a chance to jump in. And then eventually he came in about an hour and a half later and said, very funny. But you do, one thing about getting into social media and having people that follow you and like you, they will defend you if somebody tries to troll you. Is that a different thing?
Totally. Yeah, that's a good little note, actually. I think my little story is a couple years back, I put a presentation on SlideShare, and this company out of Pakistan, apparently Pakistan's first social media company, downloaded it and then changed everything and re-uploaded it. But they didn't change the note on the slides that contained my name, and then I had Google Alerts set up for my name, and so sent me this email, and I went to the slideshow, and it was like they'd put all these Three Musketeers pictures in the background and taken all the copy and kept all the text and everything the same. And it was just so rude and gross. And I eventually went after them. And it wasn't until I went to Twitter and tweeted about it, and all my Twitter friends were started to attack this guy and his credibility. And I ended up writing a blog post, and he came after me. It's a pretty great story, actually.
Cool. Very, very cool.
He didn't get what he wanted. I left the blog post up. You can read about it.
That's great.
So social proof, I hear a lot of people talk about social proof being, let's say you write a blog post and you get, 200 comments. And that is social proof that you are, that you have credibility in that space or whatever. What do you consider that social proof?
That's so many different contexts for 200 comments. It could be you two trolls attacking one of my blog posts. But if you get 200 comments from 200 different people, obviously that's proof that you have a wide-ranging audience that's actively engaged with commenting and replying and responding to what you post. Some people could have bigger audiences that are less active. But yeah, I think that's a certain that would lend authority to a blog or to a web or a news site if those comments were authentic.
Well, what I find interesting is there's a lot of people that like to lurk on social media. They love to look at stuff, but they never comment. They never get actively involved in it because they just don't feel like it. Yeah, and I think of it, it's basically interface laziness, where it's like, I know if I make a comment, somebody's going to comment back, and then I'll have a comment again, and that's too much hassle. So what do you think the ratio, 1,000 to 1? If you have like one comment, 1,000 people have seen it, or?
I don't know. You guys are funny. You guys we got social defenders and troll talk. Let's talk about the more promising side of this medium to humanize and revolutionize our world, helping organizations and individuals connect beyond the digital zeros and ones.
All right, let's go Star Trek.
I like that you guys like troll. You guys should be like just reviewing YouTube comments. That should be your whole show. You could just do a whole show on that. You want to talk Star Trek? I haven't seen the new movie yet, so I'm pretty sad. But the Borg are an important part of my personal mission. The Borg are important.
Assimilate or be destroyed.
Assimilation.
Yeah. Well, do you think that's a metaphor for Google, the Borg?
Well, Google doesn't have it anymore. Facebook, there's too much disparity. I think the Borg is the internet in itself. Yeah. I think we're all cyborgs. People have been talking about this for a long time. I didn't really get it when I was younger, but now that we're all attached to our devices, 24/7 pretty much. Yeah. We are turning the cyborg to Google Glass, and soon I'm gonna get a contact lens that changes my eye color and has a computer in it that I can manage with my staring. I'm pretty excited. Maybe 25 years.
And a Chromecast? You're going to get a Chromecast?
Don't tell anybody, but I might have ordered a few Chromecasts to my granny's house in the United States.
Attaboy. Let's, you mentioned something that was really, really interesting. We're so connected and there's big, big, big data. Let's talk about the positive side of big data. Everybody's bitching about like, my privacy. Okay, guys, in 1972, you didn't act and you're stuck with it. So get over it. So what do you think the positive side of big data is?
Positive sides of big data, improving efficiencies in our world through every process that can be analyzed by big data. It's pretty ambitious, right? We can be pretty open about it. I think it's going to be an opt-in, opt-out world, and I think that's going to be important. There'll be privacy laws that only go so far, and then there'll be the wild, wild west of what we have now, and people are going to have to be able to opt in and opt out. Yeah. And if people opt in, they're probably going to have a much more personalized experience everywhere they go. They're going to be served relevant information and advertisements and interests. And if they reveal too much about themselves, they were dumbasses to begin with. And I think that's my favorite line about privacy is you're the only person who can protect your privacy. You're the only person who determines how much stuff you put out on the internet. You're not the only person who decides what others do with it. But if it's innocuous, people aren't going to do anything with it. I know I have a blog full of innocuous posts, I guess. No, I haven't written in a while. I should start writing again. About social proof, among other things.
Hey, yeah, well, that's what I wanted to ask you. You did do a blog. You stopped writing blog. Let's talk a little bit about blog burnout. Because, when I got into blogs, I went crazy. I do lots and lots of podcasts. And it's a formula for burnout. What keeps you going?
In terms of like sharing content and engaging with people.
Being a content dude. And, and going to meetups and generally spreading the word.
Spreading the word, yeah. I don't really go to as many events as I used to. Having a kid is very different. But I think if you believe in something and the power of that thing to do good in the world, you want to, especially something like this, it's kind of like the Force. It can be used for good or evil. It can be directed, and I think we need to those of us that believe there's a lot of good in this thing need to push forward and make that our primary mission and conversation, because other people who don't get it, they're either losing out or their life's too good already and they don't need it. So, and that's totally fine. If your life's too good, and no one's going to tell you got to get on the internet and do stuff, but for everyone else out there, there's an opportunity. What keeps me going? Constant desire to learn. That's it. Nice. Learn and read and be informed and stay up to date with the Moto X, big announcement today from Google. Some company called Hootsuite raised the largest amount of financing ever for a software company in Canada. I heard about that.
Was that Canadian dollars though, so it doesn't count?
No, U.S. dollars.
Oh wow, that is impressive.
And if that was a couple years ago and it was Canadian, or a year ago and it was Canadian dollars, I think it'd be worth more.
There you go.
There was an amazing rant for nerds. Basically, it said nerds have come through the gauntlet of being nerds in the classic sense and picked on and the underdog, and now they're very powerful as a group. And nerds should be more conscious of being nice and remembering what the bad old days were like, and not act like the bullies of the yesteryear just because you have power. What do you think of that now that nerds are kind of very, very powerful? They're basically controlling a large part of the technology.
First, I want to know where I can watch this angry nerd rant.
Yeah, I'll send you a link. It's freaking awesome. It's great. It's beautifully done.
Just tell me what to Google. Come on, people are listening right now. Live.
Yeah, we'll put it in the show notes for those that are listening now.
Show notes. I'm in Google waiting to. I already wrote nerd rant in. I think I might have found it. Is it 2 minutes long?
Yeah, it's a cartoon one. Nerdy guy goes on Warcraft rant. That's a 4-minute one. Urban Dictionary nerd rant.
Oh, he's Googling too. Look. Okay. Anyway, thanks. Yeah. Thanks for letting me do that sidebar.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. That's one problem we have, though, in the world of media, is you put in the show notes. It should be like embedded in the soundtrack or something, Like
that would be nice.
There's like a cross-medium challenge that we have between video and audio.
We could flash a QR code, but then actually that's kind of nice, actually. Yeah, your QR is curdled. Sorry, it can't be used anymore.
So are you actually recording my video right now on my face?
No, we're not. No, we would have announced that at the beginning.
Well, you can let everybody know that I'm totally naked right now.
Except for the beard.
So yeah, back to technology. I think for me, what I'm really passionate about is the convergence of technology and human behavior and motivational psychology, and data and big data, right? Understanding what satisfaction looks like and how people work. And so, I'm really interested in like how people move through websites as one thing, or applications. Those games, those like reward-based games, the amount of data they're collecting about human tendencies, and you got to sign up with Facebook to get onto some Zynga game. So they know your age, they know your sex, your country and your language, and then they have all this data about you and your behavior and how they can like motivate you to spend money on zeros and ones. Mm-hmm. Like, you used to buy a video game for $50 and sit down and play the thing all the way through. Now you get something for free, and suddenly you spent $500 building up your little town. Like, it's effed up. I feel like it can only last so long, but a sucker is born every day, right? Or a few million suckers, and I've been one of them. We've all been suckers for some.
Well, I think a lot of it's based out of similarities like heroin addiction. You actually get, when you build your house, you get this surge of confidence. You actually your brain manufactures endorphins, and that is the same type of stuff that you get when you're doing heroin. You get the endorphin rush. It's like, wow, I feel so good about myself. Great. I need to build another house. So,
or look, Bob liked my stuff on Facebook. Oh my God, Andrew commented and said and made a funny comment.
Yeah, I have 23 friends. Oh, I got to get more.
It's like these micro purchases. They're small per transaction, but they add up over time.
Yeah, it's like the one.
Anybody who's addicted to going on the Warrior Forum and buying $7 apps and programs.
That's actually
know exactly what I'm talking about.
Andrew's addicted to buying WordPress plugins. That's his thing. Oh, Bob, you won't believe it. I spent another $40 on a plugin. You're gonna love it. So yeah, that's why we have such a high tech website. It's Andrew's need to buy.
I'm sure you guys do. That's amazing. Yeah.
Well, I'm more of a tech guy. I like buying physical stuff, and that's why I love doing the Bunker Show. I think I was the guy that was pushing. Let's get more mics. Let's see if we can do 8 people instead of 4 people.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. Clout. The big tap dancing gorilla in the room. What do you think of Clout now that it's been out for several years? They've tried to, I wouldn't say monetize it, but make it bigger than it actually is, make it more important than it actually is. It's being used by HR to actually...
It's only as important as people make it. It's not being used by any competent HR departments for hiring. Mm-hmm. Come on, Bob.
Well, I don't know. I was on the internet, and I was on the internet. I read a story, and it was on the internet. Must have been true, man. But
apparently somebody didn't get a job, not because they had a low Clout score, but because they didn't know what Clout was.
Well,
I've never heard of it, and they were applying for a social media job, so that makes sense.
I've let some. When people apply for some of the jobs that I've been hiring for, and I ask them if they know what EdgeRank is, and they have no idea. Mm. They're applying for some like a pretty high end position. Do you guys know what EdgeRank is, by the way?
Yeah, it's what stops your Facebook posts from reaching your fans.
No, that's the imagine. That's the conspiracy theory. Conspiracy theory of EdgeRank. No.
Oh my God.
It's literally an algorithm that's designed to serve you as an individual using Facebook more of what you like. That's it.
Is it just for Facebook though? Is it for multiple platforms?
Yeah, it's Facebook's algorithm.
It's just Facebook. It's just for Facebook.
Really? Huh. I thought it was for multiple uses. Well, that shows how much I know.
Clout. No, Clout is. We were talking about EdgeRank there. Clout is links to everything, right? Mm-hmm. And Clout is really your... Well, it's your measure of social influence. Like how influential are you?
Yeah.
So I think the big thing there is that it's simply a score between 1 and 100 that measures a user's ability to cause other users to take social actions, right?
Exactly. It's how many comments can you generate, blah, blah, blah. The problem with Clout, though, is it's designed for people that don't create a lot of content and sit on platforms. Like, for me, none of my blogs and none of my podcasts affect Clout. It's just all 100% social-driven stuff. It's nothing to do about what the guy generates a ton of content. It's totally different on that level.
Yeah, but it can generate authority in your social platforms by having an engaged audience that is following you on Twitter or other platforms. So,
and you don't have to have a shitload of people following you either to make it work.
Yeah.
Another
But speaking of influence, what do you think of the terms return on influence, return on engagement?
Garbage.
Oh, here it comes.
I was wondering what you're going to say about that, because I was like, okay, so the old way of doing it in traditional marketing.
You know what it is? You know what that is? That's just the me-centric style of marketing coming to the social media, the social medium. You know, it's nonsense. Return on engagement? No, it's called engagement. It's two-way. Like the return you're gonna get a return. It might be nothing. It might be huge. It's just like any conversation you have. Anytime you cold call somebody, anytime you offer somebody help on the street to walk across the street, who knows? Maybe that person's going to turn out to be a huge influence on your life, or maybe you just did a good deed for somebody else. Like that's where return on influence. Well, what does that mean? I don't know. I don't know. Even return on investment is simply a formula about costs and number of dollars generated.
Yeah,
what's the cost of
influence?
Like what's return?
Yeah, how much did this campaign cost me, and what did I get out of it?
And,
and then there's
social's not a campaign, though. Social's not a campaign.
No, but for a business, it can be. It
can host a campaign.
Yeah.
But it's not a campaign because it doesn't end. It's a communications medium, right?
Yeah, that's true.
You can definitely facilitate a campaign. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, I'm pretty passionate about that.
It's good stuff actually, and it's what's interesting. You have the two camps. You have the people that are old school marketing guys, and I run into them all the time, and they say, yeah, we're using Facebook, and it's a great marketing tool, and blah, 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 and I go, guys, you don't get it. And then there's people that are on the other side of the spectrum, and they say, oh, no, it's a bastardization of it. It's just purely about communication. And I think there's
medium.
In the medium,
it is a great marketing medium. Why do you think this stock went up, almost 40% over, the last little while, like the last 3 days or 4 days, because mobile advertising increased to $600 million in revenue. It's a great marketing medium, but that's just one part of what's going on here, and these are channels. I think that's important.
Yeah. Well, I think what's so fascinating about social media is that it's evolving so incredibly fast. And like in 6 months, even though you've got your standard 4 big guys, so much is going on. So many more people are on mobile now compared to 1, 2, 3 years ago. I think it's like 65%. It's ridiculous. Do you think that the popularity of mobile communications, where you're able to comment and get involved with conversations 24/7 in any location, up in the mountains, on a bus, at work, do you think that's affecting it?
Affecting
the perception of social interaction in social platforms, because it used to be you go home and you did it.
But those are reduced. Well, no, I think it's fine. I just think those are less powerful social interactions, right? Like than actually being in that moment and being on that bus and turning to the person next to you, is the old man in the sea, and asking them if they enjoy it. There's like, even if it's a stranger, or if you're among family and friends, it's like, come on. Like maybe it's something my parents instilled in me. My mom has a sign she loves. It sits on the dinner table, and it's like, says family, and then it's got a little like placard in the middle, and it says no cell phones. And the idea is like, hey, that stuff will always be there. I think it's really important that we teach everyone and train ourselves to realize that, in the moment where my kid is 9 months old, like, hey, I can read tech news and go on Facebook anytime I want, but the kid's only going to be 9 months for a month, and then he's going to be 10, and then he's going to be 2 and 10 years old, right?
Yep.
So I think that's the problem right now, is people haven't really got that yet, and we're all really so excited that we're not like turning it off. I've really gotten to the point. It's funny, people are surprised that I leave my phone on silent all the time. I never respond immediately. One, because I don't want people to think that I'm going to respond immediately. I don't want them to get conditioned to expect me to do that. I had that at one point in my life, and then I got a job, and everyone got mad at me because I didn't respond right away. And then the other thing is, I don't want to be chained to that thing. I don't want it to dictate when I like stop listening to somebody and pull it out of my pocket, and so.
Yeah, that's pretty strange. You're chatting with somebody and they interrupt your conversation, which is real social communication,
right?
To check their Facebook notice. Like, for God's sake, it's designed for you not having to do that. But everybody thinks they have to answer right away. It's
almost creating like a schizophrenic society with all these different thought processes going on at the same time, multiple conversations happening at the same time. But no, you're right. I agree. These tools are great productivity tools. They're great entertainment tools. But that's what they are. They're tools. You don't want to become a slave to the technology.
Yeah.
Exactly. Traditional. I was a slave to video games for a large part of my life.
Hey, we're all addicted.
10 years old. 10
Yeah.
years old. Super no friendo, my parents like to call it. My older brother like to call it.
Really? I was Commodore 64 games.
Yeah, you guys are a little more senior than me.
No,
I used to trade them.
Commodore 64, nice. I think I played some Atari actually, but not very much more than that.
Wow. When I was playing with an Atari back in Toronto, it was in an advertising agency, and it was their de facto computer. And everyone's like, oh my God, what can I do? And say, yeah, check this out. And I was fascinated. I said, wow, if this thing could develop and get fast and be bigger, I could be all over it. And then took 10 years. And then suddenly there was this beautiful, big, giant Mac CI or whatever with a massive 12-inch screen and a mouse that you could move around. First time I played with a mouse, I took the cursor and tried to throw it, and it stops when you let go. Weird.
Sounds like something you do.
Yeah, it would. I'm still trying to throw the damn thing, and actually, you can do it now in Photoshop where you can throw and it will pan slowly. So they finally caught up with my concept.
Nice.
Kemp, what is the future of social interaction and touching on Hootsuite, controlling and your content so it doesn't overtake your life?
Well, I think curators are it's funny. I think I was talking about this we were all talking about this 3 or 4 years ago. But curation is vital.
Yeah.
I think that's so key, and it's just also the channels you choose. I'm pretty basic with my stuff, right? I'm reading aggregators daily, things like Tech Meme and Media Gazer, maybe some local news here and there. But I use those things as portals to find information that's already been validated by other people. Mm-hmm. So, what do I think the future of all this stuff is? I think it's just more optimization of the same information processing and gathering. But I think the real change is going to come when things start to become a little more embedded and ubiquitous. But I don't think they're cheap enough yet. I see all these startups with their little tag that you add to anything, and then you can track it if you lose it. We'll see. I think the always on thing that we always talk about, and I don't know, I feel like sometimes we live in a bubble of people who are just seeing way far ahead. And we think it's the now, but it's really, the 5 to 10 years from now, where what we're talking about and all this stuff and the self-driven car and the Google glasses, and that will be ubiquitous in 10 years. And then we'll be like, oh yeah, we were dreaming. We thought it was already done. I think that's kind of the reality is we're already ahead of the wave. And I think it's just going to take a while for a bunch of people to die and a bunch of people to grow up. I once said that, and someone accused me of saying that social media kills people.
Nicely misquoted. I love that.
It's pretty funny.
Andrew, do you have a quippy question?
All right. No, I think that's great. I think he needs to go grab his kid and throw him up in the air and play with him a little bit.
And be a dad. Exactly.
Thanks, man.
Dad.
Hey, thank you very much for coming on the show. It was awesome. Always entertaining. Kemp will probably drag you in front of the mic in the future when something exciting's happening. And if people want to get a hold of you, how can they get a hold of you?
They can tweet me on the Twitters at Kemp Edmonds, KEMPEDMONDS, or if they like, they can email me KEMP@hootsuite.com.
And what about your curation? How can they see the stuff that you're seeing?
Oh, dude, on my Twitters, that's generally where I send a lot of that stuff.
Okay.
But you know what? I just read Tech Meme every day. I look at the what's going on with the tech scene and Media Gazer. MediaRedefined.com is another sweet aggregator. It's all about aggregation and curation, and so I'm going to say those are my new news sources, and that's kind of what I open up every day when I'm trying to spend a moment learning about something new.
What about Dig.com?
Dig. I thought it was dead.
Yeah, it's they tried to bring it back. Have you seen the redesign?
I have not seen the redesign yet.
It's not
bad.
bad.
Is it nice?
It's not bad.
It's okay. I don't use the website, but I did get the new RSS reader that they created.
Yeah, how was it?
It's not bad. It's actually it's just as good as Feedly.
Yeah, nice.
So it's good, and it uses their new server now, so that's cool.
Nice. You know what you should try is there's this company out there. It's called I think Hootsuite, and they have something called the Hootsuite Syndicator. It's pretty wicked. It's like RSS meets social syndication, all in one.
So how does it work?
So you take your RSS feeds, you pipe them all in, then you can build streams that you are made up of groups of these RSS feeds that you choose. Then you can manipulate the stories, read them, mark them as read, unread, share them to any social network that you have hooked up to Hootsuite. And so it's great for like really curating.
Actually, that sounds really cool, because that might be even better than what I'm currently doing with a different app. Does it just show up as one of your columns in Hootsuite?
Yep. Yeah. So you would make you'd add 100 feeds and have your 8 categories or whatever, and then you'd add 8 streams, one for each category, and it'll show all of the feeds in aggregate on a timeline. And the mark as read thing is nice. I think there's a few other features in there that I'm not too familiar with, but I hope some super RSS keeners get in there. So it's different than other things in the sense that it's stream based. So you can really try to kind of sort it a lot more easily and then view them all quite cohesively or together and all in one, which is pretty awesome.
I'm definitely going to try that out. Does it work on the Hootsuite mobile app as well?
Sorry. It does not work on the Hootsuite mobile app. Not yet. That is right. Okay. That is right. You can also do all kinds of there's all kinds of hacks and tricks. Like you can take any RSS feed you like, put it into Hootsuite and push it out through a Twitter handle. Right, okay, so you can create a Twitter handle of the kind of content you want to read. I've made a couple. You guys can check them out. One's twitter.com/hootbiz, BIZ, and you can check out that one. Oh no, it looks like it's pretty good there. Yeah, so I think I might have changed a few of the things. There's another one. I think it's Kempo Hoots is another one. Twitter.com/Kempo Hoots. That one's better. That one's it's more like the Mashables. Although, it's broken. None of the links are showing up. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to fix that.
Well, there you go. Thank God you came on the show.
No, I can see a few of them. Anyway,
that's a great tip to end the show. I'm definitely gonna try that out for sure, because I'm using an app right now, Zeit, to
beautiful app.
Yeah, to curate the content that I'm sharing. And it's working out well for me, but they don't have an app for Windows. Like they don't have a Windows 8 app.
Wow.
So this will be perfect. I could use when I'm not using a mobile app, I could do it on my PC. So that's good.
Also, if this then that.
Yeah, big time, and it hooks up to Hootsuite too, actually. So if this and that can hook up to a million things, though.
I know
it's
it is
incredible.
awesome. It is awesome.
What did they just brought an iPhone app that hooks up to your photos and your contacts and your calendar, I think. So if this and that, just basic rule-based stuff. If you haven't checked it out, it's amazing. ifttt.com.
Yep, well worth it. Hey, so everybody out there in Maven land, thank you for listening to the show. Thank you, Kemp, for being awesome as usual.
Thank you. Great to be here.
And for me, it's an au revoir tonight.
Yes, and from me too. And you can call in and ask any questions at 1-877-636-1474 if you have a suggestion for a Maven interview, someone that you would like us to interview, or if you want to just comment on past episodes, that's where you call.
We hope you enjoyed the show, and I'm sure you will love our next guest, but until then, visit the website at maveninterviews.com for more information and links to iTunes, Twitter, and other social media platforms. If you would like to leave a message, please call 1-877-636-1474. You never know, it might be you featured on the show.